Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Shadow Charizard in the Remix Cup. And this Pokemon honestly was so much fun. This team itself would again really recommend you to try this team out. Maybe it has a little bit of a weakness against the Powder Snow Lone Ninetales, so you also already have a video on this channel. But still, this team was amazing. Like, this team worked out super well. I think I went a total of 10-3 again or something like this, or 10-4 maybe as well. Something like this. Definitely a very good team to use. Definitely climbed up some nice elo with it. We're going to have a Ferrothorn double flying team, which is not too creative, but it's definitely very good. And still, while it's not too creative, not a lot of people are prepared for this, especially for Ferrothorn, but also for the sweeper of Shadow Charizard. There's so many Poliwrath, and look at the opponent here already deciding to forfeit. Honestly, we're going to have also such a great time with this team against Carbing, and this team itself is nearly perfect. Like, you have a Carving counter in the lead, you're going to have a Pokemon as a Saisop, which is going to be able to still do something nice against Carbing in like all the other Steel type Pokemon as well, with the Gligar, and in the back you have like the nice sweeper for those Steel types, for those Grass types in the back, with that Shadow Charizard, which kind of recently didn't see too much play, but for the Remix Cup, the Talonflame is banned, and so Shadow Charizard just has so much play in the current meta. And we're gonna see it here as well. Like, there are some very great sweeps with this Pokemon. In comes here the next opponent with that Venusaur in the back, as well as most likely another Grass type Pokemon, very likely a Grasshold here. We can knock them out here. And oh, look at this, it's a Victory Bell. So far, we did not even need the Charizard, but I'm fairly certain in this battle, this is going to change, because Giratina in the lead is quite an awkward one, and they actually encountered, I think, this Pokemon twice or even 3 times in the lead. I don't know where this Pokemon all of a sudden came from, but Giratina, definitely a Pokemon that apparently is good in this meta. I'm not too sure, but Dig is coming through against the opponent's Carbing. We can try to go for another Dig here as well. This is going to be able to connect and do some... never mind, does not do any damage. The opponent decides to use a shield, as we can let the move go through, still keeping our shield there as well. We can overfarm with Ferrothorn. This is like the amazing thing, like, so many people are running currently the Carbing, which I think is the #1 spot for this meta. And Ferrothorn just feasts on this Pokemon. We had 100 energy, we can knock them out. We could even undercharge here if we want to, but I decided to just go for the knockout easily here, so we can try to swap out again into our Shadow Charizard as the opponent swaps into their Empoleon. Going straight for the nuke move, no baits here today. Boom, knocking out that Empoleon straight away, and now it's down to Giratina against our team. And we have still the Shadow Charizard here being able to go for those Dragon Claws. And also, we still have some energy on our Ferrothorn, so even if we don't get to this Dragon Claw, we still should be fine. But we are going to be able to reach it in time, knocking out the opponent, and Shadow Charizard is going to be able to knock them out. So, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have a very bad lead force. It's going to be a Dragonite, which is going to resist our fast move. We can still actually stay in, but they of course have Superpower, which is going to make this matchup way more annoying. Anyway, we can still go ahead and swap into our Gligar, while we can try to go for a back-to-back Aerial Ace here. The opponent goes for a Dragon Claw, still Aerial Ace is coming through, should force a shield, but they're going to be able to fully farm me down now, which is quite awkward. And so... yeah, let's see how this is going to go. Like, I don't think it's going to be a great one for us, unless we can fully farm them down with a Shadow Charizard here, and still get to some charge moves afterwards. But as you're gonna see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for one Dragon Claw, but they already have another one stored, which I did not expect. And so, yes, I could have swapped out maybe into the Ferrothorn now, but yeah, I did not expect this one, and so sadly, the opponent going to have a Poliwrath here. They are going to be able to catch a move onto their own Ferrothorn, and actually I think if I caught the move, I would have been fine. So I guess maybe a mistake by me, but it was a little bit of a tough matchup, to be fair. Tough matchup is going to be this one here for the Jellicent, as I swap onto the Steelix. And like, honestly, Ferrothorn lead right now is just so great. We are going to see here the Steelix going to have to take a Power Whip, and honestly, I feel like for Ferrothorn in the lead, I would like for the meta Mirror Shot. I feel like Mirror Shot would be the ideal way over Thunder. Thunder is a cool move, don't get me wrong, like Thunder is a great move to run. And also there are some targets in this meta, like Mantine for example. But I feel like Mirror Shot might be even a little bit better just to have like this bait potential. As a lot of Pokemon are quite weak to Steel typing apparently in this meta, like a few Fairy types around, a few Ice types around. I saw already some Frostless, stuff like this. So might be actually cool coverage to have as well. Here most likely make a little bit of a mistake by overfarming by way too much with our Gligar, but at least we can still go for one Aerial Ace to knock out the opponent. Let's see what's coming in next. It's going to be the Gligar from the opponent. As we can try to go for a charge move, we will see here something interesting, because they swap out and I swap out straight away as well. And this is going to be quite important for me to swap out straight away, because now it comes down to who has more energy and what scenario. So we're gonna see the shield coming up, and I have to hope they can still shield up a move here. And I still have to hope that I somehow can survive a move. Surf coming through, we are gonna go for another fast move, and sadly they can still reach the surf, and so our Ferrothorn still does not go down. I am actually curious, like I did not expect this, maybe the opponent undercharge or whatever, but this is going to seal the deal, as our Shadow Charizard here is going to be able to fully farm them down. They decide to forfeit. You see already, this team plays quite nicely. We will see a Gligar in the lead, we can stay in for a little bit, we can go for a power whip, we can swap out eventually. This is kind of what you want to do. You still kind of need to keep your lead alive, because we have a double weakness to water in the back, and so you kind of want to keep your grass type Pokemon to deal with those water type Pokemon in the lead still. As the power whip is coming through, we can swap out into the Gligar. Gligar is gonna be able to take a charge move from the opponent for sure. It's going to be an Aerial Ace again here, as we will see the swap into the Sableye. I try to go for a double Aerial Ace here. Double Aerial Ace would do some nice damage, but they're going to only let one move go through and go straight for the next charge move, which I am going to be forced to let go through as well. I am gonna go back into my Ferrothorn to try to knock them out. I was actually hoping to get a shield here from the opponent, so my Shadow Charizard is going to be able to sweep, but sadly they do not give me that favor, and also I'm still locked into this one, which makes this matchup basically impossible for us to win, as they have so much energy now advantage on their Poliwrath. There's not a lot that I can really do here. I can still try my best, I can still try to go for the bait of a Dragon Claw, but I'm fairly certain the opponent is going to be just able to outspeed me anyway, and so I make another silly mistake here maybe. No, actually not really. We're gonna see it here as well. The opponent stops out. I decide to go for a charge move. The opponent decides to go ahead and go for that shield. And as we will see, they're going to be able to knock me out. And so that is going to be a good game. But we can move on to the next opponent. Let's take a look at another Kelvin lead. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a better one as they swap out into a victory bell. I don't know if I made a mistake here. I think it's still fine. I was thinking, because like in theory, Gligar would be able to still punish that Carbink, but then if you think about it, it is way more of a risky play, because the grass typing would be neutral against Gligar, and they would most likely be able to align themselves if they wanted to. So I guess it's going to be the safer play to go for. And also, I think that's going to put them into a range where we can go for one Power Whip now and farm them down afterwards. I'm fairly certain that is going to be enough. It's going to be close. Maybe it's the range, maybe it's not. We will find out shortly. As the opponent decides to go for a Moonblast, they swap out here into a Tropius, and we can retaliate immediately with our Gligar, and they decide to forfeit this battle. Okay, this is going to be great for our Thunder variant at least, but they swap out straight away, and I decided to go into the Shadow Charizard here as well. Why do I go into the Charizard? I don't actually know. I think it might be even better if you're fast to go into Gligar, because Gligar can outspeed them. But Charizard definitely has a lot of potential to use energy up later. Here the opponent decides to go for a Power Punch. I was kind of surprised how fast they get to another move here, and I was like kind of worried about an Icy Wind. But it's going to be another Power Punch, and so I can just go for the full farm down. Get quite a lot of energy, and I think this is going to be lovely against whatever they have on the back. It is going to be that Mantine again, where we can try to go for a big charge move here. Blast Burn is going to connect, do a lot of damage, but not only this, we can go for another charge move here, but it's not going to be a Blast Burn, it's just going to be a Dragon Claw, which is going to connect as well. Gonna do some nice damage here. We're gonna let the next move go through as well. It is, of course, we don't have shields, like what are we supposed to do here? It's going to be an Aerial Ace, and they swap out into the Steelix. That's going to be great, because we can actually resist the fast move, but still they have one shield left, and that shield can be quite dicey. We try to reach another one, but they can go for a Crunch here very likely, and that is going to be a tough one for us to beat. We can go for another Power Whip here. This is going to be able to connect, and it is gonna get the shield as we swap out into the Gligar, all down to this little Flying Scorpion, which is gonna take a Crunch from a giant Steel Snake. Honestly, like if you sometimes think about like how ridiculous some of the Pokemon are, it is quite mad, isn't it? But yeah, Mantine is coming through here. We're gonna try to go for another charge move. It does not work out, and so sadly, we are going to lose this battle, because the opponent cannot speed my Ferrothorn, and my only play was to overfarm a little bit more with my Gligar. But I feel like so far the battles are lost. We're actually winnable if I played a little bit differently, which is great knowledge and kind of showcases as well how good this team actually is. Okay lead for us, but actually a lovely lead, because apparently if they swap out, they're very likely going to be a Charm variant of it. We are forced to go for a shield here because we have to be a little bit careful. The opponent could have access to Thunder like ours has, and so it is safer for you to go ahead and go for a shield. I decided to go for the Blast Burn straight away and knock them out, and we can see very likely already the final Pokemon from the opponent very fast into the battle. It is going to be the Typhlosion. I make a little bit of a mistake. I should have thrown a little bit earlier already, just after going always for 2 fast moves before they go for their own charge move, but I decided to now use a shield as well because the shield is going to be quite nice. And I should just go up for another Dragon Claw. Let's see if I'm going to be able to get a shield from them again. But what I'm going to do here actually is I decide to swap out into a Ferrothorn. Swapping a Ferrothorn into a Fire-type Pokemon is quite ridiculous. But the opponent swaps out back into the Ninetales. They can go for 2 Charms apparently straight away. But as you can see, we try to reach another move here, and we can actually still reach it, which means we still have our Gligar, we still have our Shadow Charizard. We are going to allow the opponent to just farm us down, but they are forced to go for a big Blast Burn. If they go for a Blast Burn, they should not have the energy anymore to really go for anything against our Charizard, because honestly, like, I feel like it's very difficult for me to just say Charizard. But as you can see here, you even play it risky and just go for the full farm down. Second to last game here, we are going to see a Bronzong, and yeah, this is going to be a very awkward Pokemon to deal with. And honestly, maybe I should have actually stayed in, because my fast move is resisted, but theirs also is resisted, and so I feel like maybe Thunder would have been the best play. But don't worry, I am actually going to screw it up even further here as the Greedent is coming in. We are going to try to, yeah, take a Body Slam here. Body Slam coming through. We're going to try to go for a Dig now, but it's going to be a CMP tie. I was thinking I would win the CMP tie against the Greedent. I was wrong. I decided to go for an Undercharge now on this Dig here, which great should be enough. And it is perfectly enough to get us a 1 or more fast move in, which is cool. But we are 2 shields down. Like, we are 2 shields down. There's nothing else I can really say towards that, as we will try to, it's still our best to win this battle. Aerial Ace coming through, getting the shield from the opponent is quite nice, as we can try to swap out into the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn can take a hit for sure. Payback is going to come through here, and we will see what they have in the back. It's going to be a perfect matchup for Shadow Charizard here. It's going to be the Superior. Superior has still at least access to a neutral move with Aerial Ace, and we are very squishy, but it is not looking too good for the opponent here, as we're gonna be able to take another move. And I can go up to 100 energy. I maybe could have been even able to just go for that Dragon Claw, but at the end of the day, it does not make any sense at all to go for a Dragon Claw bait, as now we can still get a shield from the opponent. We still got the 1 Wing Attack in, and we can go for perfect fast move alignment with our Ferrothorn here. And so, Thunder coming through, going to be able to get them low. We're gonna be able to take, hopefully, another hit. It's going to be so close. They decide to go for the Psyshock, and that's a huge mistake by them, as now we are going to be able to win this battle. And we can move on to the final one for today. Final one, we're going to have the Giratina in the lead. That's going to be quite an awkward Pokemon to deal with, but let's find out how this is going to go. Giratina is gonna, yeah, stay in here. We can go for an Aerial Ace, which is gonna put them hopefully later on even in range where the Power Whip would be even enough to knock them out. But they stay in here. We are going to be forced to use a shield, of course. Yeah, Shadow Ball going to do a ton of damage. In comes the Mantine, which is going to be a very bad one for us as well. But let's see how this is going to be going on. The Aerial Ace gonna get them kind of low, and we will see another Aerial Ace going to come through. This is going to be quite an interesting one. We're gonna get them low, hopefully low enough that we can farm them down with our Ferrothorn. That might be quite important. And so let's see how that's gonna go. The Water Pulse coming through. We can go for the full farm down now with our Ferrothorn, but it's not going to be great. So let's see how this is going to be ending up. We're gonna still go for the full farm down, and it is going to be that Poliwrath in the back. We can still try to go for a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is gonna be able to connect and get the shield straight away. They decide to use a shield here. We can also use a shield against the Icy Wind coming in. And as we will see here, we try to reach another charge move, trying to go for that CMP tie nearly, and the Dragon Claw is gonna, yeah, get the shield from the opponent, but the game is not over yet. I still kind of think that there's a chance of us winning this battle, but it's going to be a slim one, as it's now down to our Ferrothorn. We're trying to overfarm, and this is going to be quite an interesting one here. Power Whip going to knock them out here with one more fast move, and with this we can finish up that Party Wrath, win this battle, and also win the game. And also, this is going to be it for this video, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. And also, I just realized winning the battle and winning the game is the exact same thing, so that's great.